Lewis Hamilton has just dropped a bombshell. So unexpected, so brutally honest, it might have flipped the entire script on Ferrari's ongoing crisis. As the Formula One paddock buzzes with rumors about Fred Vasseur's possible exit, and headlines swirl with names like Christian Horner and Antonello Coletta being floated as replacements, Hamilton has stepped into the spotlight, but not with the usual vague statements or polished PR soundbites. No. What he said cut straight to the heart of the chaos erupting inside Maranello. And that's exactly what makes this moment so explosive. While the media circles like vultures and pressure builds with every underwhelming race result, Hamilton hasn't chosen silence. He's taken a clear, defiant stand. What he's just revealed may not only determine Fred Vasseur's future, it might change the course of Ferrari's entire 2025 season. But why now? What does Hamilton have that we don't? And what are the implications for the simmering power struggle in the most iconic team in motorsport? Don't flinch a muscle, because what you're about to listen to isn't another headline. It's not filler. It's the real drama unfolding behind Ferrari's closed doors, laid bare. So hit the like button, subscribe, and stick around till the end, because what Hamilton just said might be the most important thing you hear all season. Lewis Hamilton is a man who does not buckle under pressure. He's pushed through controversy, carried the weight of expectation, and emerged on the other side of hardship with an upper-tier placidity that few sportsmen in any endeavor possess. But what he just revealed about Fred Vasseur, the man now fighting to keep his grip on Ferrari's leadership, might be one of his boldest public declarations to date, because right now, while Ferrari is being shredded by internal uncertainty, boardroom power plays, and a media storm that refuses to die down, Hamilton hasn't just offered support, he's delivered something far more significant, an ultimatum cloaked in loyalty. The whispers started quietly, but have since taken fire. Ferrari, irked and winless in the first 10 races of 2025, was reportedly about to give the sack to Vasseur. Trust in the boardroom was ebbing. Hamilton and Charles Leclerc had looked visibly furious. Strategy calls were patchy. Technical improvements flaked. Meanwhile, McLaren soared, and Red Bull muffed just enough to let Ferrari cling to the fantasy of being the second-best team. But under that shiny surface, storms brewed. That's when word got out. Ferrari secretly approached Christian Horner. When that effort was foiled, they approached Antonello Coletta, a respected insider within their endurance racing program. And just as the storm was reaching its peak, Hamilton stepped in and put everything on ice. Asked about Vasseur speculation, Hamilton would not skirt, would not tiptoe around, and would not resort to scripted corporate jargon. He let this slip. "Fred's the reason I'm here in this team," Hamilton said. "I like working with him. I would like Fred to be here. I think he's the man to take us to the top." This was not flattery. It was an unmistakable, deliberate message to the Ferrari board, to the fans, and to anyone plotting in secret. Hamilton has staked his Ferrari career, the final, most ambitious phase of his record-breaking existence, the whole shebang on one man, and that man is Fred Vasseur. The implications? Monumental. Hamilton's defection to Ferrari was no short-term gamble or financial decision. It was a long-term strategy founded on trust, belief, and shared purpose. If that trust is lost, if Vasseur's leadership is deposed, everything Hamilton worked to build is now in jeopardy. Ferrari might crave change at the top, but Hamilton is delivering a warning. He's not included in that plan. He's not proposing a do-over. He desires stability, consistency, and he wants Fred Vasseur to be the architect of the project. And yet, the timing is poor. Ferrari has not been faring well. Still winless, no podiums at all for Hamilton so far. The SF25 has caught flashes of speed here and there, but far more often, it's been showing its weaknesses. Floor damage in Canada, setup confusion, tire degradation, unreliable qualifying, and all of this with two of the very best drivers on the grid. The frustration isn't just visible, it's broadcasted through team radios, body language, and headlines. So, when Hamilton says it looks a lot worse outside than it probably is on the inside, he's doing more than damage control. He's trying to hold the center while everything around him fractures. It's a form of leadership few drivers take on, especially in public. He's not just defending Vass. He's defending the entire team against itself, against doubt, against impatience, against the temptation to start over again. Because let's face it, Ferrari's pattern is well-known impatience, resets, revolving doors in management. It's a cycle that's defined the post-Schumacher era, and every time a project is scrapped early, it delays the rebuild even more. Hamilton knows that. Vasseur knows that. Does Ferrari's upper management. The timing of Hamilton's words is not coincidental, with rumors swirling and the media turning up the pressure. His voice carries weight. He's telling the world, and more importantly, the men in suits behind the curtain, that this time Ferrari must resist its old instincts, that Vasseur deserves the time to finish what he started, and if they don't listen, the consequences could be seismic. Because while Hamilton's declaration was calm, its message was razor sharp. If Fred goes, Lewis might follow, not immediately, but spiritually. The unity, the belief, the trust, that all disappears. And in a team already walking a tightrope, that kind of fracture could be fatal. So yes, what Hamilton just revealed about Fred Vasseur is nothing short of insane. Not because of how dramatic it sounded, but because of what it means. It's a driver putting everything on the line. It's a message that says stability over chaos, loyalty over politics, trust over pressure, in an era of F1 where drivers play diplomat more than ever. Hamilton just played kingmaker, and whether Ferrari chooses to listen might determine not just Vasseur's future, but their own. So don't go anywhere, because what's unfolding now isn't just a turning point for Fred Vasseur. It's something far deeper. Political ground under Maranello is shifting, and for once it's not happening behind closed doors. It's happening live out in the open, in front of fans, media, rival teams, and most importantly, two of the most high-profile drivers in the sport. Lewis Hamilton's statement wasn't just supportive, it was strategic. When a seven-time world champion publicly defends a team principle under fire, he's not just showing loyalty, he's drawing a line, he's sending a warning. Hamilton isn't just another driver passing through Ferrari, he's the face of their future, and now he's effectively said, if Fred goes, everything changes. And that raises terrifying questions for Ferrari's top brass, because if they're seriously considering removing Vasseur, they're not just removing a team boss, they're detonating the foundation of the project they used to attract Hamilton in the first place. They're risking the confidence of a driver who came not just for podiums, but for a legacy-defining chapter, and in doing so, they may trigger a level of instability that no mid-season replacement, be it Coletta or anyone else, can possibly contain. Think about the timing we're approaching. A pivotal point in the season. 2026 is looming, with massive regulation changes and a chance to reset the pecking order. Bar cannot afford to enter that era in turmoil. They cannot afford to lose Hamilton's trust, nor Leclerc's patience, because if either of those two pillars starts to crack, the consequences won't be confined to this season. They'll echo for years. Coletta may bring structure. He may bring results from endurance racing. He doesn't bring the relationship Hamilton already has with Vasseur. He doesn't bring the continuity this team desperately needs to climb out of its spiral. And right now, continuity is everything. Ferrari has tried reshuffles before. They've tried resets, new technical directors, new team principles, new philosophies. But what they've never had in this era is time to actually let something develop. And maybe that's what Hamilton is trying to buy them: a moment to breathe, to stabilize, to believe in a vision that doesn't involve panicking after every failed weekend. He knows the car isn't where it needs to be. He knows the strategy calls have been poor, but more importantly, he knows how quickly the cracks in Ferrari's foundation can spread if pressure is applied from the top down. This story, then, is no longer just about whether Fred Vasseur keeps his job. It's about whether Ferrari can learn from the past or whether they're doomed to repeat it. And it's about whether Hamilton, who has stood by Vasseur publicly and passionately, is truly being heard within the walls of Maranello, or whether his loyalty, like so many promises at Ferrari, will go unrewarded. So stay with us, because this isn't just a moment of internal drama. It's a reckoning, a fork in the road for the most famous team in motorsport. and the decisions made in the next few weeks could shape not only the final races of 2025, the very DNA of Ferrari heading into the next era of Formula One. Smash that like button. If you're as invested in this drama as we are, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single twist and turn on the notifications, because what comes next could define everything.